because I messed up. Of course, reading is essential, and I should have read the coolant label a little bit more properly. But all right, guys, we're back, and we're talking about coolant. Okay, let's see. Pretty much what I've done is I made 2 different batches of coolant, one with a 40-60 mix and a 60-40 mix, and I think you guys will be shocked on the results. So stay tuned. We're gonna be talking about coolant. Alrighty, let's do it. Let's recap what happened in the first video. So I'll have a clip, but pretty much my bumper here got clipped in Texas when I was doing a road trip, and what ended up happening was a big, the undershield got clipped. So pretty much what I had to do, because it was just dragging, the undershield was dragging, I had to kind of DIY, kind of like just MacGyver it and kind of quick patch it in a sense. So I got some zip ties and I tied it to the coolant line. Yeah, I tied it to the coolant line, and what it did was it put extra strain on one of the coolant lines. Me doing a road trip from Florida to Maryland, and as you know, Florida's pretty hot, and during this time, Maryland was pretty cold. I think what happened was it put extra strains on whatever micro crack was pre-existing on the coolant system, especially the main reservoir, and it expanded them and caused a slow leak. Because in Maryland, what happened was I came out one day, because I was noticing some stuff. I was gonna head to BMW and pool full of coolant. Yeah, just a pool full of coolant. So that's what ended up happening there. So that's where what I wanted to do. So I had to get that fixed. So what happened with that is I had micro cracks in my main reservoir on the side. I'll have some B-roll of this as well too. And that's how it got happened. None of the mechanics said the lines were fine, everything was fine, because I know my BMW is a high mileage one as well too. So that's where I was keeping that in mind as well. Especially you need to change your coolant lines, because these are just plastic. It's not a matter if, but when. So that's a good maintenance item to do, and that's something that I'm going to do. But coolant is a top of mind topic when it comes to 340s and B58s, because my engine is a Gen 1 B58. So that's where what I wanted to do was I wanted to do an experiment with the coolant, right? Because I just wanted to see, okay, if I put a 40-60 mix or a 60-40 mix, what will hold, right? Because as you guys see on the label, I don't know if you guys see, but I'll probably have it, I'll do a little overlay, that this is supposed to be a 60-40 mix. But I didn't do that because I wanted to create some content. So what I ended up doing was mixing one with 40-60 and 60-40. So here's what happened. All right, so here's what happened. So I put this mix in. This was happened about a week or 2 ago. Headed up to Tampa to get some canes, and what I noticed was this guy down here, this main reservoir, was below the minimum line, and I filled it up right before. So what ended up happening is, let's like I said, let's say reading is essential, right? So let's see. In the instructions where it says 60-40, yeah, so here. So it's really, let me focus it. So it's really 50-50 mix. That's why. So if you see this, do not exceed an antifreeze percentage of 60%. And what is this? 40% or 40% coolant, 60% distilled water. So what happened was evaporation, right? Because the boiling point is too low, so it boiled off. So that's why I was getting a minimum line. So I ended up filling the coolant, only the main reservoir, for about 3 times during my ride out. I wasn't pushing the car too much. I was in Sport Plus mode for like maybe an hour, and then like Comfort Plus mode maybe like the rest of the way, and then Comfort mode when I came back. So yeah, so that's what I noticed is when you have that improper mix, you're just gonna keep refilling it. Okay. Now, that's what happened day 1. So here's what happened day 2. Now that I found that, oh, okay, the coolant, there's too much water in here. Let me do a 60-40 mix. And that's why I did a separate mix. This is what I noticed. The coolant has kept, let's see if we can focus. So the coolant has kept, and it hasn't dug into this reservoir. And it stayed ever since I put this 60-40 mix. That's how important it is to follow those directions. Remember, never exceed beyond 60% of the antifreeze coolant, right? And I just wanted to make this quick video to kind of just, you know, kind of tell you my experience, right? I just wanted to make this quick video to kind of let you know my experience dealing with these 2 different mixes, because I saw nobody was doing this, and I think this is just good information, because a lot of us are amateur mechanics or YouTube mechanics, where we got our diplomas on YouTube University. So that's where I wanted to just go over that comprehensive overview of coolant and why it's important, and I experimented with that. The next video I want to do is talking about oil changes, because I have done the cardinal sin, which is I've gotten my oil changed. This B58 you see behind me, I've gotten my oil changed at Jiffy Lube, at BMW, at a third-party dealer as well too, or auto body shop or mechanic shop, and somewhere like 3-4 other places, and the car is fine. So I kind of want to debunk all of this talk around oil. You need to get this type of oil. I had put liquid moly in the car, Jiffy Lube, other stuff, and the car was fine. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about that. I think that would be a very interesting video. And I wanted to see if it was cap or if this is real deal. Like, you need to put liquid moly in there, or you're fine doing your oil changes at Valvoline, Jiffy Lube, and whatnot. So stay tuned for that video as well too. Give me a thumbs up and comment below if this made sense, if it didn't make sense and whatnot, or if you experienced coolant issues yourself, let me know. I'm very interested, because everybody's B50, not all B58s are made the same, and everybody has a different vantage point and experience. So that's where I think putting this into the ether, the YouTube ether, made the most sense to me, because knowledge is powered, and I think we need to empower ourselves by, like I said, just sharing your experience about your B58, because like I said, everybody's coolant thing is very unique, and I haven't heard this approach to it, so that's why I made the video. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for that oil change video that will be coming shortly. We will be doing the Dreams Part 2 series. That's going to be coming shortly, but I wanted to do some DIY videos before we go into that, so stay tuned for that. All right, thanks for joining me.
Lost in a lifestyle, lost in a lifestyle, caught up in a maze, lost in a lifestyle, been a life now, lost in a life, caught up in a maze, I'm lost in a lifestyle, been a life now.